Hello, Simsaroni here and welcome back to another speed build on this channel. Today I'm building a family home. It is all black and white. Well, it's not all black and white, but it's a largely black and white and grayscale theme. It's largely inspired from a house that I actually seen when I was looking for somewhere to move out to. I was looking on like all of your websites or like that show all the houses for sale and to rent and things like that, and I seen this house and I was like, is this photo in black and white when I first seen the outside of it? And then I looked at more photos and it was like all the downstairs was pretty much completely black and white. And the only thing that let me know, like, it was so well done. The only thing that let me know it wasn't actually like photos in black and white is because I had like just a little bit of like red or green. Like I had like maybe some plants and an apple on the side and things like that. And I was like, it's just decorated like that. Like as you got upstairs it got slightly less so black and white, but yeah, this is actually something that I've wanted to do for a while because ever since I've seen that house I was like, that is amazing. Like I want to recreate that. I want to live there. Like I don't know, it really just amused me because it was also right next to another house and it was on like a main street and everything else around it, like, because since then, like before I recorded this video, I actually looked it back up again and they've changed the photos to be like, see, look, it's not in black and white. Pretty sure that's why, because all the photos are very similar, but they have like warmer lighting inside, and on the outside shot, it shows like the next door neighbor's house and stuff. So I was like, okay, right, okay. So even the fence, like outside, is grey scale, and then you have the house next to it, which is your traditional red brick home, and I thought it was just amazing, like absolutely amazing. So yeah, this is why I've done it like this, and I wanted to do a nice family home because the last one that I did was just a tiny home, single, like, well, not a single couple because that doesn't make sense, Betsy. It was a, you know, small 1-bedroom house, and I was like, I'll do a family home, which even before The Sims 4 I never really did family homes that much. Like I don't know, like if they were equated to challenges, like 100 baby challenge, yeah, but a lot of the time, I don't know, like I'm not much of a builder. I'm trying with this one because I do really like some of the furniture in this. It has very strong themes, and you know, I kind of appreciate, like, I didn't like the whole no colour swatches, well, not no colour swatches, like no colour wheel at first, but I'm appreciating the colour swatches more now because I found that in the past I would get so hung up on doing all the colours all like the same or slightly off and matching them all up. You know, it took up a lot of my time, so I'm appreciating it because it helps me save my time. But yeah, this house here is just a standard family home. You have a large, like, it's quite an open plan space when you walk in. The kitchen area is separate, but it is through an archway. But you have like the main sitting area, like your family sitting area. This is where, you know, you sit when your mum's like, no, we're having dinner together. Like they're not having like a formal dinner at the dining table. They're like, we're sitting together, we're watching telly together, like, and we're gonna have just a nice little meal and we're gonna be a happy little family. Yeah, and then we have a den for the kids to hang out so they can have the friends around. I put in like a small parenting nook, I guess, where I've used like the Parenthood family bulletin board thing. So like that's there, you know, it is a very family home. The main sitting like living space, I wanted it to be quite clean. Cause the whole right. I have a whole story in my head of who this family is, right? You have the mum who works part-time as a dental hygienist assistant. You have the dad who's in marketing. I don't know what exactly kind of marketing he's in, but he's in marketing. I was playing around. I was like, is he like a journalist? No, he doesn't work for like a newspaper or anything like that. I was like, maybe he's like a businessman. I was like, no, that's too boring. He's in marketing. She's a part-time dental hygiene assistant. And then they have 2 kids. One of them is a teenager and they're a little bit angsty. And then you have the younger sibling who is kind of like preteen. Like when I do the bedroom, it's a lot more, like it's like the most colourful room in the house. But you can see that's like transitioning from, you know, like being very childlike to starting to get those interests in other things. And that's the family. You know, they've inherited this house from their parents. Well, her parents, yeah. They've inherited the house from their parents. They have a sunroom at the back, which is added as an extension. They've turned that into they've opened it up and moved it and sorted things out, and it's now the kitchen dining room area. The upstairs is quite small. The two small like the kids' bedrooms are quite small. They're just 3x4, maybe 3x5. 3x5. Honestly, how big were the windows that I used? I don't know. I think it's 3x5. Anyway, so I was like, they definitely need a den space because there's not a whole lot of space in their rooms when they have friends over. And you know, the mum doesn't want them like in the main living space. She's very much like a keep it clean, keep it tidy. This is like, you know, when I'm not at work, she's either tidying the house, keeping it all nice and tidy, or she's working in the garden. I've decided she likes the garden. She has a book club, and she has her friends round, and they all sit in the living space, and, you know, they actually are a book club. They talk about the book. I have too much of a story going on for these Sims that live here, but yeah. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. And it is quite a fast speed build. Like, you'll see I've sped it up a lot because I had 6.5 hours of footage. 2.5 hours of that is in the garden, which impressed me because I'm not a landscaper, and I really, 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 really tried to do as well as I could in the garden, and I hope it worked out, and you'll see it in a bit. But for now, we're inside, so I'll keep talking about the inside. A lot of it I struggled with trying to keep it black and white, and even though like black and white is quite a modern style colour palette, I wanted it to still be quite homey because, like I said, you know, it's like a family home, and it's a larger, more traditional looking home. It's just they've inherited this house, they've done it up in their style a bit, but they've kept it still quite cozy, even though it's quite big and open. I still wanted it to be like a family home. Even if the mum is a little bit controlling. She's not like a lot controlling, just a little bit. She likes things to be clean and tidy, put away. You know, she's house proud. She wants to be able to have her friends round for book club every like, I don't know, 6 months or whenever she has it. You know, she's not very good with keeping up with people. I decided that they were like a dog family. Like I've put some pet stuff in the sitting room. They had like the dog bed, they have toys, they have a small bowl. In the kitchen dining space, they have like the automatic feeder, they have a dog door, and they've got like some dog treats on the side. Because I was like, they're very much a dog type family. I was playing with the idea of also giving them like some cat stuff, and I was like, no, I feel like they're a dog family. So they have a dog, and you know, that's why I haven't left a large portion of the garden just green, but you know, like there's a big chunk of grass out there because, you know, they have a dog. Space for everyone around, you know, also children, space for them to run around. But yeah, even though I tried to like keep a lot of like the black and white grayscale, I still wanted certain, I mean, obviously like I couldn't keep it that well because I don't have full control of what some of the colour schemes are on things. So there's like accents like books and things like that have got some colour in them. But it wasn't until I got to the den that it really started to show more colour. Because, you know, this is like the kids' room. This is where the teenager goes and gets mad at the child, like the younger sibling, for wanting to spend time in there, and then they get told off because, you know, whatever, because they're being mean to the younger sibling. But I wanted to add more colour to this room just because, you know, like, this isn't where the parents go. It's still very much like black and white. Like, that's what I try to keep, is still, even where there's bits of colour, there's still a lot of like greys, whites, blacks, because I still wanted the whole house to look coherent. Like, yeah, okay, maybe the mums let them have some more colour, and maybe they've painted the wall like a slightly green colour. But in the end, it's the parents' house. They're like, we want a grayscale house. So you can have some colour, you can have some decals on the wall, you can have a nice colourful rug or whatever, you can have a nice colourful console. But in the end, it's our house, and we want it to be black and white. So I try to not go too overboard with colour, especially not downstairs. I want the downstairs to be very much the main, everything's black and white and grey, and I think it worked out quite well. I hope it worked out quite well. The parenting area I really struggled with. I could not figure out what to put because it looked too bare. And I really wanted to put like the table underneath. I know it's a dresser, but it's fine. I wanted to put it underneath the bulletin board. And I was like, I guess I'll have to use Move Objects on for it. And then I realised, well, no, because they actually go up to it and use it. Like, they wouldn't be able to use it, presumably, if there was a thing in front of it. So I left that empty and I was like, I'll have like a little seat there. So, you know, parents sat there waiting for the kid who's broke curfew to come home. For the artwork, I was going to use like pictures of like portraits. Just to be like, you know, like, this is like old like school photos, or maybe it's like, this is your granddad when he was your age and things like that. I finally like I got somewhere with it. I wasn't 100% happy with it, but I spent so long doing it, I just couldn't find anything that I really wanted to go there. And then I moved upstairs and went to the master bedroom, which is very, very grayscale, because, you know, this is their bedroom and they wanted this grayscale house, so they, yeah, obviously, like, you know, they go further with the theme in their room. And I kind of struggled a little bit in terms of trying to decorate it, because I wanted it to be quite simple, but like I didn't want it to be too overly decorated, but I still wanted to be decorated enough. I felt like there was too much open space, and I was like, but this doesn't work. I played around with the mirror and the wardrobe a little bit. Ideally, I actually wanted 2 wardrobes in this. I wanted like the dad's wardrobe and the mum's wardrobe. Partially to fill space, but also because I feel like, you know, they're like an upper middle class kind of family. Maybe not quite there yet, but they like to act up, I suppose. But then it just didn't fit because I wanted a dog bed upstairs as well. And I decided to put it in the master bedroom because it's like the dad's dog, basically. Like, they're the ones that made the decision to get the dog. It's theirs. So it went in the bedroom, and at one point it disappears. I don't know when that happened, but when I come back to the game, I think I saved it and left it running for like 10 minutes or something. I might have saved and quit. I think, yeah, that's what I did. I did all of the house, and then I closed the game down for a little bit. And when I come, like, I had some dinner, I come back, and then like some things had went missing. Actually, when I moved a sim in to take photos and screenshots, I had things go missing as well, like just like curtains or something. But then the thing that annoyed me the most is the terrain paint. Like, is this a thing that happens? Because, you know, I'd done the terrain paint for the garden, and then I'd finished up the garden, and then added some more terrain paint and finished off all these details. And then when I moved a sim in to take photos, like, the terrain paint wasn't there, but the stuff that I'd done after that was there, and I was just really confused. But yeah, I had a couple of issues with things going missing. Like I said, like curtains, like the dog bed went missing. So that was fun. I was getting very, very frustrated by the time that I moved the sim in to take photos and the terrain had went missing. And I was just like, great, I love my life. Like, I haven't just spent like all day, like I spent all day doing this. So I had 6.5 hours of footage. I had like 3 hours of the first half. And then, like I said, like I went away and had dinner, come back and did another 3.5 hours of footage. And then I took photos, and it was a long ordeal. I don't know, like, how long do you spend building houses? Like, I feel like I went overboard with the garden. Like, I spent 2.5 hours on the garden. So I feel like I went overboard on the garden. And I'm still exploring a lot of the options and things like that in this game. So maybe that was part of it. But I don't know. How long do you spend? How long do you spend building a house, like a nicely decorated like house? Because that would be nice to know how long the average build takes for people. Because like I said, this took 6.5 hours, and I've renovated the pancakes house before, and that took me like 5 hours, and I'd barely even touched the outside on that one. So yeah, I feel like I'd take a little bit long. But yeah, it looks like the bedroom's a 3x4, not a 3x5. As you can see, like, the teenager's bedroom has that red wall, it's covered in posters. The kid's bedroom is like got a lot of orange and green and colourfulness in it. The passageway actually changes a little bit, because when I was playing around and testing it out, the washing machines wouldn't work, so I ended up moving them. But the landing basically just became a laundry space, because I don't know, like, in the UK you have your laundry room in the kitchen, like your laundry in the kitchen, but it just didn't fit the kitchen, and I was like, because I did want to put laundry in from the start, and it just become like, maybe I guess it's not going to fit. And then I was like, actually no, because I've been to houses before where, like larger houses, where it's been, your laundry's been like upstairs, like in a cupboard. You'd open the cupboard door and it's like your washing machine's like there, and I was like, you've got a laundry cupboard, okay. So I was like, yeah, I'll turn the landing into a laundry space, because I didn't know what to do with it, and I wanted laundry. And when I had to change the bathroom to make everything fit, it gave me that little nook, which is why I was like, I couldn't put like washing machines out. I think I was originally just going to put a plant there, but I decided against that for a more functional thing, which ended up not being function, so I had to be changed around anyway. So I ended up putting the laundry basket where the laundry machines were. Like, there's pictures at the end so you can see how it ended up being done. And then it's time for the garden, and I spend so much time doing this. Like, I don't do landscape. Like, I'm genuinely like really bad at doing gardens and stuff in any Sims game, which has not been something that I've ever been into. Like, I just can't. Like, terrain, oh my god, right. Terrain paints, I just can't. I always do them too strong, and I tried so hard with this. Those rocks, I cut out a chunk of the gardening, because, like I said, it was a lot of footage to cut down, and it was a lot of repetitive stuff, like placing all of the rocks as a border, because I wanted to be a more curvy border instead of it being like, here's a fence. And I didn't want it just being the plants to the grass, because, you know, this type of, like, I was doing it very, like, bushy. I didn't want it to just look overgrown. I wanted it to look intentional. But yes, I had, like, such a bad time trying to place things next to the foundation, like, next to the deck, and I was, like, ready to lose my mind. Because I was just like, why won't you just place where I want you to? Stop floating in the air. I don't know, maybe there's a trick to it, but I don't know that. And it was bad times. But I got to work, not quite as close as I would like it to, but it worked and it was okay. And oh yeah, you'll notice I put like sand down to start with, because I was like, it's bright, like I'm going to see it, and I couldn't just start placing stuff down. I'm very much a planner. I can't just do. So I had to like plan out exactly or approximately where I wanted the actual garden space to go. And I chose the sand because, you know, it's very bright, that you can see it, and I can see if I've missed it to erase or whatever, and it's obviously not going to get confused with like the dirt that I'm putting down. And I'm really glad that I did that, because it meant like I had a idea, like I had a coherent idea of what I was putting where. And the outside space, I wanted to leave it kind of bare. Like, they have like small bits of furniture like clustered around the place. Like, we have like a barbecue area and, you know, places to sit. But I wanted like the actual space to be quite open, because the idea is like, you know, like they're having friends round, they're having family round, you know, they've got people round, and they want the space to socialise. And like I said, dogs, children need space to run around. So I didn't want to like overdo it with furniture, and I'm worried a bit that it comes across as being a bit empty now, especially with all the plants around the fence. Surprisingly enough though, I actually genuinely expected that when I went into live mode, my game would lag because of how many plants I had on the lot, but it didn't. It actually worked quite smoothly and fine, so that was nice. And I have a little bit like down by the sunroom, where it's because I faded out the plants and I wanted them to have like an extra section down that way, which is like, I've seen it as a butterfly bee friendly area, and I wanted a kennel there. And I don't know how I didn't notice this before, but we don't have kennels in this game apparently, unless I'm blind. But yeah, so I was pretty upset at that. I wanted a little kennel down there, but I ended up actually doing is putting some dog toys down there. So they had some, like, you know, it's like where the dog goes to like stash the toys, because, you know, all animals are like that. So yeah, but I'm just gonna leave this here for now, and I hope you've all enjoyed it. I hope you all continue to enjoy the end of it. Like I said, this video, there's pictures at the end that show off all the little details, because it's been quite a fast speed build. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye. Everyone who is still watching at the end is muchly appreciated. Let me know what your favourite part of the video was, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye!